perché sennò è un po' non c'è perché non
Ciao Piero.
Ciao.
Ok.
Ci siamo.
Avete bisogno di condividere schermo? Io
Adesso un attimo ci organizziamo,
Noi facciamo, questo di chi è, scusa? Tuo. Non volevo. Sì.
Mi sentite? Sì, direi di sì. Sì, ok.
Non so come vedete me.
No.
Non so come vedete Pascal.
Sì.
Buongiorno Piero, ciao.
Ciao. Cosa facciamo? Aspettiamo ancora un attimo, cominciamo.
Sì, aspettiamo. Sì.
Aspettiamo un attimo. Piero, vuoi far tu l'azione di coordinamento?
Va bene, come volete.
No, dici tu.
Sì, va bene, posso fare io, nessun
Hai
problema.
sotto mano il programma?
Dunque, il programma sono l'elenco dei dottorati, adesso lo recupero. Allora, dunque, lo vediamo. Sarà qui. Allora, sarà qui, eccola qui, Room 5.
Esatto.
Abbiamo materiali, processi sostenibili per sistemi per la transizione energetica, microelectronics, fotovoltaics, processi e tecnologie fotoindotti e
Catalisi.
Perfetto. Ok. Allora, dunque vedo collegati attualmente, siamo 5 presenters e 11 partecipanti. Okay, maybe I switch to English because I see that some are maybe not speaking Italian, some of the attendees. We wait maybe another couple of minutes and we start at 12:35 as soon as maybe the last people are connected. I see that there are other registered participants that did not join yet. Okay, I think we can start. So in this room, we have 5 national programs that are dealing with enable technologies for a sustainable world. In particular, we have the national PhD program in materiali, processi sostenibili e sistemi per la transizione energetica, micro and nanoelectronics, photovoltaics, processi e tecnologie fotoindotte, and catalisi. We will have a short presentation by for each of the PhD programs, and then we will have time for question and answers. I ask people who have questions to raise the hand and ask for which of the 5 PhD programs they have a question, so that it's clear who of us has to answer. So I will say let's start right away with the first one. I give the word to Andrea Lamberti, who will be from Polytechnic of Turin, who will be presenting the first PhD program. Andrea.
Okay, I'm switching on all the mic. Okay, thank you very much, Piero, for the introduction. We show the slide of this PhD program. Yeah. I suppose it was running because I saw. Okay. Good morning, everyone. I'm the coordinator of the PhD National Program in Sustainable Material Processing and Synthetic System for the Energetic Transition. I'm Andrea Lamberti from the Polytechnic of Turin. I'm the coordinator of this national program. And I would like to make a short introduction about the main goals. In the framework of the energy transition system, processes and material are very important topics and complex system that needs an approach based on multidisciplinary capability. And so we need a PhD program that can cover these kind of skills. So the goal of this program is to train young people after the master degree in the field of chemistry, physics of matter, material science, electronics and energy devices, on many kind of issues related to the development of material processing and technologies for the production and the characterization of energy harvesting and storage system to be used in connection with the grids. In this moment, we have many partners that are involved in this program, in this initiative. Starting from Piemonte region, we have the Polytechnic of Turin, that is the main institution covering the administrative staff, supported by the University of Turin, the INRIM, so the Meteorological Institution of Research in Italy, and the University of Piemonte Orientale, then the IIT, the Italian Institute of Technology, and the CNR, with many different institutes all around Italy, FBK, the Fondazione Bruno Kreisler, and the University of Bologna, University of Aquila, Roma La Sapienza, Naples with the Federico II University, and in Lecce, in Palermo, and also in Messina, the different universities. There are four main topics regarding this kind of national PhD program. The first one is related to the production, storage, and transport of and use of hydrogen. The second one is the production of green carbon-based fuels, so the valorization of sub-product coming from CO2 or wastes for other kind of green carbon fuels. Then the energy storage, both electrochemical or chemical and mechanical, and then last, the management of renewable energies, so the connection also with the grids. In this slide, you can see this kind of connection among the four main topics. On the top, you can see the power electronics line, and on the bottom, the gas grid connection. In the middle, all the topics that are involved in this national PhD program. So starting from renewable, and of photovoltaics and other topics that are covered by other PhD programs for the production of energy that can be used for the production of chemicals, methane, hydrogen, and then the storage part, both geological storage, but also electrical storage for the final application of their utilization in mobility or the connection with one of the two grids, so the power electronic grid or the gas grid. With big industrial network, there are many companies, Comas, Pollution, Gemate, Nucleo, Mista, Novak, Vishay, Ferrari, Solvay, Zoom, and Lamicolo. All these companies are founding some co-founding some position inside the PhD program, and all these are in the framework, all the topics that I described you before. We have defined an international advisory board. There are international experts coming from companies and coming from university or research center all around the world that will evaluate the program, both by a didactic point of view and the research point of view, and will provide us suggestions to improve the PhD program. The didactic activity will involve more than 40 courses in the PhD that are the third level, that are provided by many partners, so you can follow as students both in remote or mixed modality. Many of these courses in all the different places of the partnership inside the national program, and all the courses will cover fields from applied electrochemistry, chemistry, physics of matter, science of material, electronics, and energy devices, all devoted to the fabrication and characterization of energy device for the main topic of energy transition. For what concerns application, It will open in the summer, I suppose at the end of June, and will close at the end of July. There will be a specific applied procedure in this link that is indicated in the slide. You must earn the master degree by the end of October to start the PhD in this program, and the selection will cover there is a competition. The selection will be done with an interview, and the candidate's ability will be evaluated with an examination in a colloquia and with an evaluation of the scientific curriculum. Here you can find all the contacts related to this PhD. Thank you for your attention. If you have questions, I'm here to answer.
I would say that we leave the questions at the end, so we go to the presentations. So now I will present myself, or at least my PhD. So share screen. Let's see if it works. It should work. And you should see my slides. Okay, so I'm Piero Alcoati from University of Pavia, and I'm coordinating the industrial PhD program of national interest in micro and nanoelectronics. I say industrial because many companies are involved, and the PhD has been recognized as an industrial PhD program. The coordination of the program is in charge of University of Pavia. I'm in the coordinator, and we have 18 other Italian universities covering more or less all the Italian territory, from Polytechnic of Bari, Polytechnic of Torino, University of Bologna, Bolzano, Brescia, Cagliari, Calabria, Catania, Genova, L'Aquila, Milano Bicocca, Modena, Reggio Emilia, Napoli, Padova, Pisa, Rome 3, Rome La Sapienza, and University of Salento. Most important, I think, we have also companies. All of the most important semiconductor companies in Italy, and multinational companies that have design centers in Italy are involved in the PhD program. You can see here a list, and you can see names that are international, but also companies that are Italian, ranging from Allegro Microsystems, Analog Devices, Huawei, Infineon, Inventum Semiconductor, Marvell, Photon, ST Microelectronics, which is the biggest one in Italy, Synopsys, and InvenSense. So these are mostly all of the companies that are dealing with micro and nanoelectronics in Italy, at least for what concerns the design part and the production part. So what are the research activities foreseen by the PhD program focused on? First of all, it's going to be research activity in cooperation with companies in 90% of the cases, on analog and mixed signal integrated circuits, RF and millimeter waves integrated circuits, digital integrated circuits and memories, integrated power management, and emerging devices and technologies, including microsensors and MEMS. There are educational activities. There are dedicated courses for PhD students, typically 1 or 2 courses over the 3 years for each student. There are every year intensive PhD schools and workshops, and there are seminars. So for the students, the required outcome to achieve the PhD are to fabricate and characterize at least one integrated circuit and have at least one scientific publication related to that. As you all know, micro nanoelectronics is one of the most critical topics nowadays. The chip shortage that has been mentioned on the news in the last 6-8 months is quite critical. If you try today to order a car, the delivery time is at least 6 to 8 months, and the reason is that since in the car nowadays there are a lot of integrated circuits, there are difficulties in getting those integrated circuits to be included in the car. So that means that it's very, very critical to boost the capability of producing integrated circuits. In fact, the European Union recently launched the so-called European Chips Act, which putting a lot of money exactly for boosting the infrastructures for the fabrication of integrated circuits in Europe. The same has been done by US with the US Chips Act. Now, the point is, if we invest a lot of money in new infrastructures, but we don't have the people required to operate and produce and have this infrastructure work, it's useless. So it is extremely important to form a growing number of people expert in the design and fabrication of integrated circuits. So the PhD program website is on the slide, and the duration is 3 years, as for all PhD programs. The grant is the standard one, with the possibility of having an increase of the grant when the program is carried out in cooperation with companies, so basically always. The next call for application will open on June 13 and will close on July 28. So it will stay open a little bit more than 1 month. We have 55 grants at the moment. It's growing, the number, but at the moment we have 55 grants fully funded. So it's a significant number. There will be selection interviews in September. The dates will be defined once the call closes. The prerequisites for accessing the program are a master's degree in electronic engineering or similar subjects. So master degree in physics is also okay, just to give an idea. And the master has to be completed before October 31st. The background that is required is basic electronics and possibly design of integrated circuits, but basic electronics is really required. So we are looking for candidates. It's a great opportunity. Thank you. If you have questions afterwards, I'm available. So let me stop sharing this, if I manage stop sharing. Okay, so let's go right away to the next national PhD programs, which is the photovoltaics, coordinated by Giovanni Spagnuolo from University of Salerno.
Yes, thank you, Piero. The PhD, the national PhD in photovoltaics, is coordinated by me, by the University of Salerno, and the proposal has been submitted just today. And I wish to add a bit of information with respect to what you can find on the website of this event, because there you can find details about the previous cycles, so 38, so the previous year, and the video or presentation about the new year. But some information are ready only today because we have just submitted the proposal. You see that this is the map of the universities that were in the consortium last year. This year we have a contribution also from the Politecnico di Milano, Politecnico di Bari, and the University of Reggio Calabria. And in total we will have 39 scholarships. These were the companies who contributed the last year with the 12 scholarships. This year, some of them have confirmed the scholarship, like Enel, for instance. Some other have been added, so that you will find in the call also some additional companies. The PhD is organized in 6 curricula because the idea was to cover all the topics related to photovoltaics in the PhD. And you can see that it is the aspects covered are the solar cell technologies life cycle, the module and system design and integration, monitoring and diagnosis, power electronics and control, solar intermittency and storage, and distributed generation and grid connection. So keep into account that not only engineers in principle can apply for having a PhD in this program, but also people and students having a degree in physics or in chemistry and or in engineering for materials and for in chemical engineering. We have a didactical part of the course which is quite significant because the idea is to give an horizontal knowledge of photovoltaics to all the students, at least 6 months abroad, so out of Italy for a period of study, and also 6 months in companies, especially for the scholarships that are funded by industries. Finally, just a recap for saying you that the call will be open, I guess, at the end of June, early July. It will be shared in different ways. I will show you here. I will show you some links, but they are also in the presentation that is available in the platform of the Dottorati Nazionali, and you see that the scholarships will be distributed all around Italy. You can follow us on LinkedIn, on Facebook, and on the official webpage of the University of Salerno, which is recorded here, or you can write an email to me directly. That's it.
Okay, thank you. So we can now move to the next one, which is the National PhD Program on Processi e Tecnologie Fotoindotti, coordinated by Loredana Latterini from University of Perugia.
Thank you, Piero. So I'm Loredana Latterini from the University of Perugia, and I'm the coordinator of the program titled Photoinduced Processes and Technologies. This has been established last year. Wait a second, it's not. Okay, has been established last year with the support of 18 universities, which are reported here in the map, and they are throughout the Italy. Then there are 3 research centers like CNR, CSGI, and Istituto Mario Negri from Milano. And we have 3 companies that are actually growing this year. These companies are more business related to development of stimuli responsive sensor or materials that are useful for imaging, or systems that are capable to harvest radiation, solar radiation. And all the location colleagues and partners from companies are involved in the in providing the formation, the lecture to the PhD that are enrolled in this program. So it's really an integrated initiative to provide to the candidates a multidisciplinary education, either theoretical, experimental, research, in the way to rationalize the mechanism of photoinduced processes. And this is because it's nowadays well established that radiation, and in particular solar radiation, can actually give important responses to global challenges, as you will see soon after. Another important thing that we aim to give education to the candidates is to find a way to enhance the criteria or the methodologies to find the exploitation of the materials and processes and technologies that they are stuck. So there is a peculiar attention on this aspect, so the link with companies and industries all over Europe, at least. I was saying that the photo-induced processes are really the topic of these days, because radiation, solar radiation or radiation more in general, are able to give interesting answer to global challenges, and to give a more articulated approach. We have actually divided the program in 4 curricula, and the names of the curricula that are here reported can give you an idea of what are the topics where there is a specific research and formation activities. These are related to transition to renewable energy sources, where we aim to quantify and take advantage of radiation harvesting and conversion. Then we are paying attention to the technologies to monitor and protect environment and cultural heritage. There is a specific activities quite linked to companies and research institutions where personalized medicine method and materials are developed. And then there is a last, not least, curriculum where light is used actually as an ingredient to induce the transformation of materials, so to have functional and responsive materials. Now, just a little bit of more practical info. Wait a second. Practical info. So the PhD program has a duration of 3 years. At the end of this period, you will get a joint PhD recognized from the administrative university, so Perugia, and all the other universities that are in the doctoral program. The call, it will be coming out in few days, so mid-June is expected, and here is the link where you can find information of the call and the deadlines, which will be expected to close at the end of July. So in the month of September, but this will be announced on the same website, you will have assessment of the titles, the CVs, and then the interviews, and the course will start the 1st of November. Here is the website at UniPG, where you can find information about the lectures, the courses that are provided year by year. And if you have curiosity, doubts, I'm here, but you can also take into in mind my contacts. You can contact me anytime. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. So the last national PhD program that is going to be presented in this group is the program on catalysis that is going to be presented by the coordinator Luigi Vaccaro, also from University of Perugia.
Thank you, Piero. And if I may, there is an echo. Anyway, 1 second. Okay. Okay, I'm the last one of this session. Basically, I'm introducing the PhD program of national interest in catalysis. So why catalysis? Well, I heard my colleagues, basically catalysis is a fundamental process. That's why we focus it specifically on a very specific aspects of modern technologies. Basically, catalysis is based on the fact that there is a substance, a material, which is capable of transforming a starting material into something which is our desired product in a very high efficiency, and a very high efficiency, very high selectivity. And so that's why it's very fundamental to all the aspects of modern chemical production, engineering processes, and so on. So where do we find catalytic process? Why is of interest of several companies? Whatever, if we produce hydrogen, innovative fuels, polymers, semiconductors, and we want to access to fine chemicals which are everywhere around us, or we want to access selectively in a high purity and cost-effective manner active pharmaceutical ingredients, which are our drugs, basically that keeps us to prolong our life. We do need catalytic processes. We do need efficient processes that are able to transfer in a very efficient manner the reactivity in order to access our material. So that's why we focus on these aspects, and that's why we are the first year. So we are just at the infancy of this national course, but these already we have had several companies who are investing in this direction, as this type of research is not only fundamental, but is very much applied. So we have Bracco Digital Imaging now, De Nora, Chiesi, several companies, Novamont, Mexeron, I want basically mention some of them, and also national consortia. These companies and these national consortia are from different aspects. Not only they are companies dealing with the pharmaceutical compounds, with technologies, with polymers, with bio-based materials. So the different aspects that have one thing in common, which is just the efficient, the promoting selectively process with higher efficiency. So at the fundamental of the chemical production, we wish to have in the modern mentality of sustainable and cost-effective process, we wish to have catalytic processes, and that's why we have dedicated the entire program to all the aspects. First of all is the homogeneous catalysis, one of the curriculum. Of course, is the fundamental theoretical and experimental, just to be able to deliver to all the PhD students the capability of design and master or whatever aspect is behind the design of the process. Heterogeneous catalysis, especially if you want to recover, minimize the waste associated to the process, you want to go for a heterogeneous catalyst. And that's why in this curriculum are gathered all the activities related to the preparation of the heterogeneous material, the characterization utilizing high precision spectroscopy techniques, and so on. One of the oldest catalytic systems is just a biocatalyst. Our body relies on biocatalysts basically to perform any actions. And so this is why we have dedicated a specific curriculum to these aspects. And finally, converging all the expertise of this catalytic system, there is a fourth curriculum which is dedicated to the technologies for catalysis. We want to transfer energy, we want to recover the catalyst, we want to minimize the waste and isolate our product in the most efficient manner. So to amplify and make the catalytic process applicable on a larger scale, we need new technologies. That's why thermoinduction, ultrasounds, microwave, flow chemistry are the modern tools that companies are looking for to renovate their production. Basically, many universities have been already applied convergent consortia in this PhD program. There are 26 of them at the moment, as for today. And the PhD program, it lasts 3 years, is an average of as in any other PhD grant, is basically around 20,000 euros per grant, with a 50% increase when the students goes abroad. We strongly encourage students to move abroad for at least 6 months, because the program is well organized among different divisions of the Italian Chemical Society, but also the interdivisional groups dedicated to catalysis, energy, organometallic catalysis, all the aspects. So the teaching program is coordinated not only by university and companies, but also by the several entities that are operating in Italy and abroad about catalysis. So the enrollment will be launched in the mid of June. For applying, there is the need to present a research project, and therefore there will be an interview on the research project. The results will be finalized to allow all the PhD students to start their program in the 1st of November. And so for any additional information, please do not hesitate to write me also to my address here, or to the address of the offices, just to ask information, advices to select the best PhD program, which I hope will be a national program of the one presented here today. So thank you.
Grazie, thank you. So we finished the presentations of the 5 PhD programs here. So now I think we can go on with the question and answer session. So if there are any questions from the audience, please raise your hand, turn on the microphone. If you want to turn on the camera, I don't know if you can, but at least the microphone, and state for which of the PhD program you are asking your question. If you want, you can also write in the chat, of course. There are no questions. I don't see any raised hand. Come on, at least one question.
Even curiosities. If you have curiosities about these programs or practical information, do not hesitate to ask.
On the procedure, on whatever, on how the PhD program will be, on the different location sites, and so on. No questions at all. Okay. Here we have a question. Let me see in the chat. Interviews will be held at each university or in a single place? I can answer for my PhD program. The interviews will be online. So
sure, I agree. Also for
Zoom. So you can. There will be all together for all the participating universities, but and they will be online. You will be able to select preferences for the university and eventually also the company during the application process, and then the interviews will be organized, inviting also people from the companies and making sure that people from the universities that you selected as highest priority are present at the interview.
Yes, the same for Perugia. And basically, there will be one same day because it's mandatory by the law. The same day, but will be online as described by Professor Malcovati.
So, yeah, thanks. So no other questions? Okay, for everyone. You all said minimum abroad period is 6 months. Does it mean that there is any possibility to extend this period? Yes, it's possible. It's possible up to 12 months or even 18 months in some cases.
18. 18.
Yeah, 18, but only 12 if it's a grant on the in cooperation with companies, because there you have also the 6 months in the company otherwise. But yes, the only real point is that 6 months are guaranteed by the grant. For extending that period, there should be the coverage for the extra cost. That's usually not a problem, but it's something that has to be discussed on a singular basis. But it's possible. 6 months are guaranteed. 12, it's definitely feasible. 18, it has to be likely agreed on a single basis.
Yes, maybe if you want, I can add something from my experience. The fact that at least in my university, for instance, there is the possibility that the PhD student, which is also enrolled in the administrative university, not only in the university where the student does the work, the student can apply also for the Erasmus program, because the Erasmus program for many destinations is open also to PhD students, and this should guarantee also an additional covering of the expenses. And maybe Emanuela Majorano, if you are a master student, you know that the period to spend in Erasmus can be 6 months, but even 12 months. So in this case, you can profit from this additional funding also.
I add one more thing. For the grants that are in cooperation with companies, the period abroad can be eventually, if the company is multinational, in the same company, other countries. For example, for our PhD program, it's possible to go, for example, in the United States or in other European countries, in one of the other sites of one of the companies participating to the PhD program. I mean, many of them, at least for semiconductor companies, that's the case. They have, all of them, they have offices in the US and also in Far East. So there are plenty of possibilities for the period.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Yeah, if I can answer also to the, I can add a few details from Perugia. Basically, the time spent abroad depends on the board of the professor. So basically is evaluated, so it can be extended depending on the research project ongoing. And if I may answer, so there is very much flexibility on this, and we push to go abroad for the consistency of the research project mainly. If I may answer the question made by Alberto, is because it's in catalysis at the moment we have 34 grants approved by us today, and there are adding a few more before the end of the call, because the official call, when opened, till it is open, the additional grants can be added. So at the moment there are 34 in 26 universities and 10 companies.
If I may add something related to mobility, I agree and I confirm that you have at least 6 months to be spent abroad, but there is also the possibility, and that's the advantage to have a national program, to have mobility within the university and the research center that are associated to the different programs. So you can have a location, institution, a university, which is the measure location, but that you can have available all the facilities that are in the network. So taking into account, so having, let's say, in my case we have 18 university, means that you have the facility of 18 university, and then you have research center industries that are available for you to spend periods of mobility, training, research, and formation.
There's a question by Qureshi. But anyway, if I may answer, I don't think it's there is a limitation, as Professor Marcovati said, is not limited to European regions, especially, for example, we have PhD students going in US, going in China, so there's no limitation. And the visa, yes, may take some time, depends on the country exchange, but this is everything planned in quite advanced. So when you plan to go somewhere, you need to adhere to a project, and so you will have all the time. My experience, of course, if you decide with your supervisor the day before, will be a problem. But I don't think the time for each visa is an issue.
So I add a couple of things about this. So the visa,
Piero, we cannot hear you. Sorry.
Can you hear me? Yeah, the visa itself is always a little bit of a problem, especially for when starting the PhD program. You cannot apply for the visa until the selection is finished, which happens at the end of September. So typically, when coming from countries where the visa process is considerably long, I don't know where you are coming from the name, I would say probably Pakistan. The visa process is pretty long, so we have to what the students can do, they accept the grant and the position, then they can suspend the PhD program for 3-4 months, so that they have all the documentation to apply for the visa. They can get the visa and then resume the PhD program when they are coming to Italy. with the visa, so that you are not losing your precious PhD time in bureaucracy. So we had students from Iran, Pakistan, and India that last year started in January, February, actually, the PhD program. We are trying to act on the Italian foreign ministry and the embassies in these countries to create some, let's say, fast routes for PhD students, but it's not easy. So the time is that one. Then once you are in Italy, if you want to go for your period abroad in another country, you have to apply the visa, but there it's easier because you have time. You have to do it in advance. The same apply if you want to go to present a paper at the conference. Okay, you have to apply for a visa anyway. So there is an office here at our university, and I think in basically all universities, that can help you with the applying for the visa process. So yes, of course, if you, I mean, for a 6-month period abroad, there is time, because the 6 months can be placed anywhere during the PhD program. It's 3 years, so there is time to do things well in advance. But you have to remember that you have to ask for visas for everything, conferences or the period abroad and so on, in advance.
Yes, if I may add, as I would like to give an answer to Alberto Branchi. For the visa to start the PhD program now is also facilitated when you get the registration on Universitaly. So yes, once you get the Universitaly registration, everything should be quite simplified. But as Professor Malcovati said, it's at the beginning. If you see that there are some issues, better twice the registration and postpone the month. Alberto Branchi is asking about the interview. In our university, the interview, which is based on the personal CV, experience, master thesis, and on the project presented. So basically, the project is personal. Is during the application, you may select the priority of those projects, of those research areas, more than projects, which are listed from different universities. So each university in the call will list the type, the topics they are interested for, so they can become their priority during the selection, or you can apply with a free project and basically apply and find place in any of the research areas that are activated. So the project, my personal suggestion is that there should be a personal project on the topic that you believe is the most effective for your career, and where you find where you can select a priority of the university where you are more interested to participate as a base. Then, as I said, also the other colleagues, you will be involved in the collaboration project. So you will be in several universities developing, evolving your projects.
Okay, so let's see. Okay, I think Alberto was asking specifically for the catalyst, but I think also for all the other PhD programs, the interview is basically based on the background of the student and discussion about the project, or at least what the student plans to do or wants to do during the PhD program. In the case of my PhD program, there will be also some technical questions just to verify the background of the student, especially for if the student is interested in one of the grants together with companies, because let's say people from companies, they tend to verify that there is a little bit of background because of course they are not universities, so they cannot provide the kind of startup teaching that university can provide. So they require to have candidates with a minimum background. But besides that, it's just an interview on what the candidate has done and the project. Any more questions? No. It seems not. Okay, then what can we say? Thank you very much for participating. There, this session is going to be recorded, has been recorded. So the recording of this session, as well as of the previous one, the general one, will be available on the dottoratinazionali.it website soon after the end of the presentations. Okay.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye. Bye. Bye.
Thank you, bye.
Right for